everyone loves to talk about narcissism, and in a way it's a little bit annoying because any spectrum of asshole is now labeled a narcissist. And I understand the camp of people that are kind of fed up with that and thinking, oh, well, that the people that are acting like they're a victim of a narcissist are narcissists, right? And I understand that, but I also think that the reason that people are, when they're talking about narcissists, it's because there's such a fog and there's such a kind of confusion that when people come out of a dynamic, whether it's work or personal or relationship with a person exhibiting narcissistic behaviors, whether they're the noun narcissist or whether they're just exhibiting certain behaviors that are narcissistic, they are trying to sort things out. And so there's a lot of YouTube content, there's a lot of those quotes. It's because it's confusing. And the hallmark of dealing with someone pathological is that confusion. Because when you're dealing with somebody that doesn't have that awareness or empathy, and you are somebody that tends to take responsibility and maybe overtly take responsibility and overly empathize and overly decide, oh, well, I guess I have to be accountable and maybe I'm the problem. If you're that kind of person, then you're often analyzing a narcissist and giving them a benefit of the doubt, and you're in that fog. You're just trying to sort things out. And when you finally realize, oh, they really cannot step into my point of view at all. They really view taking responsibility as the ultimate, like almost honestly, they view it as annihilation. Like the narcissistic coping mechanism is the reason why everyone is kind of caught up in it is because we all recognize that we have some degree of narcissism, and there's that healthy sense of narcissism, which is a sense of self-worth and, having that frame and that perspective that what I believe and think are important, right? But the narcissist, when it gets into the unhealthy narcissism, pathological, is that they are right, you are wrong, no questions asked, no ability to see the nuance, and no ability to step into your shoes and have empathy. So unhealthy narcissism is this, it requires that complete lack of awareness. So that's why people are so confounded and they're trying to sort things out by analyzing narcissism today, because it's such a kind of mind F, There's like, you're sorting through and you're trying to figure out, well, what's mine and what's theirs. And because of the nature of the dynamic, a narcissist is never going to say, I was wrong. They are never going to say, I don't know. And if you're trying to sort something out, the conversation tends to be circular, and they tend to just focus on your reaction to their behavior rather than the behavior itself, And so what I want to talk about is narcissism is, everyone kind of talks about some of the same aspects because it's kind of a textbook kind of breakdown of narcissism. But one thing that I think is not talked about enough is how narcissists, because they lack self-awareness, they cannot make fun of themselves. And I think that's an important hallmark, because most people who have the ability to judge themselves accurately, they can make fun of themselves. They are not tied up in this idealized version of themselves, this kind of false self that they think is perfect. They are able to kind of laugh at, look at how ridiculous I was in this situation. And so that's why when you see comedians who are usually the enduring comedians, the ones who have that charm, that healthy narcissism, that confidence, that performativity with self-deprecation, those are the comedians that tend to do the best, because they are taking that awareness with that charm. Now, that's the thing about the irony of narcissists who want to maybe be actors or performers. They only if they're like maybe high level psychopathy, where they can really put on a good mask and maybe pretend to be self-deprecating. But for the most part, I think the hallmark of narcissism is that inability to make fun of yourself, and even inability to, like, a narcissist, if they see a kid that's kind of making fun of something, a narcissist would take offense. Like, they wouldn't be able to think, oh, this is a kid that has taken some kind of funny things they see in the world and is like doing an imitation or an impression. They would truly feel offended by that kid. And so that's when you can really see the narcissism, because there's this inability to see that satire, self-deprecation, an inability to have an empathy to step into someone else's experience. And there's just this immediate deflection of, oh, I am never wrong. Anyone that says I'm wrong, or that asks me a question, or that makes a joke, they are a threat to my image, my control, my sense of this very fragile confidence that I'm carrying. And so if you want an easy way to spot a narcissist, I would see if they can express that humility, that self-deprecating humor about themselves. And I would also see, how do they respond to even watching somebody that does do that? Usually they can't even really comprehend it. Whether it's a kid, whether it's a comedy special, whether it's like a satirical, or parody, I don't think that it can penetrate a narcissist. But again, I'm again just one of the many people speculating from a pop psychology standpoint of narcissism. And I just find it really fascinating, because we keep trying to look for ways and signposts and red flags, and it really is simple. It's a person who lacks empathy and lacks the ability to step into another point of view. And another way of seeing this is whether that person reads fiction, because fiction is a natural empathy building exercise. When you read fiction, you are entering someone else's experience and you are empathizing. You are sympathizing, empathizing, all of those. And fiction also builds more empathy, because you're drawing on more and more experiences that are beyond the self, right? So a narcissist, ask them what their favorite fictional books are. If you suspect someone in your life is a narcissist, ask them that, and then kind of draw them out and seeing if they have that self-deprecation. And another way too is, I highly recommend getting a consultation with an actual narcissist who will do a narcissist detector test. And the one that I did was HG Tutor. And you fill out a questionnaire, and he will then give you information on whether this person in question is a narcissist and exactly what kind. Because there are many kinds, and it's important to know their level of intelligence and awareness, because the spectrum of narcissism, while most of them are unconscious, they are unconsciously deflecting, unconsciously thinking, I need fuel, I need external fuel, this is a threat to my sense of control and my sense of power. There's that in all of them, but some of them are actually aware of that as the game being played, and they tend to be on the more high intelligent and psychopathic spectrum. And then others are completely, that's just a reflex. It's like if something comes toward your eye, you automatically blink. That's how narcissism is. It's like if something is threatening their control, they immediately deflect. You are bad, you are a problem. And so HG Tutor is extremely helpful because he's an actual narcissist himself, there's no rationale, benefit of the doubt. There's just reality check. And that can be something really helpful to get you out of the fog. And if you have any more questions about narcissism, you can go to his YouTube channel and you can go to his website, and he has tons of content on there. So I highly recommend it. It really helped me out. Thank you.